Hey everybody, it's Carter Froelich. And our mission at Launch Development Finance Advisors is to be a hero to the land development and home building community. We do that through a lot of different ways, but one of the ways that I want to give back to the industry is to be able to share our experience as well as the experience of a myriad of different players in our industry, their experience, what they've learned, what they're doing, and just the knowledge that they have to provide to the industry. With that having been said, I hope you enjoy this episode. And if there's anything that we can do at launch to help you finance infrastructure, reduce costs, mitigate risk, all with the goal of enhancing project profitability and returns, please give us a call at the contact information in the show notes.
Welcome to the Land to Lots podcast, powered by Launch Development Finance Advisors. And now your host, Carter Froelich.
Welcome back to part two of my conversation with Charley Freericks as we delve into Teravalis. Now, you said something really important, and you said as far as your career, I hadn't done anything to sully my reputation. I have a good reputation, and that is so important. I just want to make sure everybody understands how important your reputation and your word is. Charley, great reputation, always lived up to his word, and working with the jurisdictions. Now, all of a sudden, we've got a new guy in town, Texas developers coming to Buckeye, buying the biggest chunk of dirt, biggest master plan community in all of Arizona. Who are these guys? Now, Charley comes in, having done a great job at Verado and being a great citizen of the state of Arizona. And knowing a lot of the business leaders. But how was that a smooth transition? Did you run into any opposition? If you did, and we're going to talk about water at some point, but what was that like for being the new guys on the block? Was there any skepticism related to existing residents in Buckeye or the city council, members of staff, etc.?
Well, the easy answer is no. We have had no resistance. Nothing I would characterize as resistance, and nothing organized. So here's what happened. So this is a company of former companies rolled into one, right? So Columbia, Summerlin, the Woodlands. We have a amazing high-rise condo community called Ward Village in Honolulu, and early on we had a thing called the Seaport, which is a mixed-use retail project on in New York. We're down to the four big communities and Ward Village, which is really a standalone thing. No one had built a master plan community from ground up inside the company. No one remained.
Yeah.
Couple of people at the Woodlands and a couple people in Summerlin had been there very early, but they were more on the operating the community side of the machine, not so much on the ground up development.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing.
Yeah.
We just didn't have a lot of new experience. Our youngest community is more than a decade old in Houston. So you have that. Houston has no zoning.
Yeah.
And people hear that and they're like, no. And my first trip to Houston, we were staying at the Galleria, and a guy picked us up, took us around the corner. We literally were driving through single family housing, go around the corner, and there's a 40-story high rise right next to a little neighborhood. And I mean, like, what happened here?
Yeah.
So Houston is, if you own it, you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
And there's parts of that I love, which is don't tell me what to do with my land, right?
Yeah.
Property rights are a big deal, but it can be really messy.
Yeah.
And so we started here, and the team on the ground wasn't really used to dealing with zoning. And, fortunately, they got some good counsel here locally. But it's a little bit different approach. And when you're going to be in a community, I tell people this all the time. The mayor, I love the mayor. We've got a great relationship.
Yep.
We'll go through many mayors, right?
Yeah.
But picture this: I showed up at Buckeye for first couple of meetings. The junior planning staff members of that community, when we did Verado, are now the senior leaders of departments in the city of Buckeye. People, professionals in the planning business, tend to stay with good cities their whole career often. And so it's an institutional memory thing where I've been really fortunate to work for companies that said you need to do the right thing and you need to be a nice person to the people you work with, right?
Exactly.
So it's really important. You're married. You're this community in Buckeye. We're going to be dealing with the city manager and the staff and all those people forever. Yeah. And so we had a great talk last week with a bunch of the senior staff folks. We're going to get a cadence going where we meet with our development counterparts at the city at least monthly, sometimes more often, because when we're going fast, you just need to talk all the time. It's marriage. You got to communicate. And so that's the biggest difference is the cadence and the communication with the city in a heavily zoned and regulated city environment. You just you got to be together all the time. And so so I'm knocking on wood right now. Our first zoning effort was to redo the master plan community platform and all the development agreement, everything a year ago, September. And we did not have organized opposition. The reason we're in Arizona and Buckeye is Howard Hughes did some homework and said, hey, we need a new long-term community. These others are aging out. Let's go someplace that's pro-growth, pro-business, pro-development, check. And Buckeye is all those things. Their former mayor's slogan was Buckeye is open for business. Yeah. And he wasn't kidding. That's their attitude. We're here. We got to be successful. What can we do to help you be successful?
And isn't that great to have a partner that's, says we're open for business. What can we do to help you move this project forward? It's awesome.
And do we agree on everything? No. We bicker and argue, but we're professionals and we take each other seriously. Yeah. And we work closely to solve complex problems, right? We're working on we're going to finish up the zoning of the Teravalis proper this year. And it's the same thing. It's another probably 600 or 700 page document because we have to include all the urban thinking. And we spend a lot of time together and we get to solutions. It's about compromising rationally, and it's a great city, great leadership. The electeds agree and are doing things. It's I pinch myself right now. So we're very, very fortunate. And the residents of Buckeye are generally pro-growth, pro-development. They want jobs, want shopping, they want all those things. So right now, it's a great time to be doing business there.
Yep, and it's great to be with a company that can point to here's what we did in Vegas, here's what we did in Texas, here's what we did in Maryland, here's what we're doing in Hawaii. You mentioned complex issues, and one of the biggest complex issue you hear as you travel around the United States is, well, does Arizona have any water? Do you guys have any water? How do you respond to that, Charlie, as it relates to 37,000 acres in Arizona? Do we have water? Do you have water? Let's just keep it to you guys. Yeah.
We have water. So we have 100% guaranteed 100-year supply for Floreo. Yeah. And again, that's our partners and predecessors did a great job on securing all that. And then what we have is the Harquahala Valley has a river running through it underground most of the time, but it's running, right? It's real water. Yeah. And so there is an underground basin of groundwater in that south, they call it the South Harquahala Valley, that is pristine, never been polluted by agriculture. It's just this amazing supply of water. And Arizona has run on a combination of groundwater, extremely well managed groundwater,
Yep.
And CAP surface water and other surface waters from SRP and others. So we've had this really good national standard setting water management program for 50 years almost. Our forefathers did a very thoughtful job of coming up with a strategy to manage groundwater because it's finite, right? You use it and it goes away. Some of it recharges, like in the Harquahala Valley, there's a lot of good recharge just naturally every year when it rains. But we're in this extreme long-term drought condition, and surface water is experiencing serious stress, both Colorado and Salt River. And so it's a very complicated, very emotional environment. So we have this massive supply of pristine groundwater. And what we have right now is a water policy issue from the governor and staff that says we're going to run out of groundwater 100 years from now, so we need to start now. And they issued a moratorium a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And it's not a happy experience for people that invested, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars in land just in the Harquahala Valley was invested with analyses of groundwater availability. And the current administration has said we're no longer doing groundwater.
Yeah.
We can talk about it all day long.
Yeah.
I don't believe a moratorium is good water policy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think anybody does, frankly. But there was some data release that was flawed, and we're still fighting over how flawed was it and what were the flaws.
Yeah.
And so my personal belief is Arizona has built on groundwater.
Yep.
And they've managed it well. We're going to need to get water policy that allows us to continue on that for some period of time while bigger, better long-term solutions are imagined and implemented.
Yep.
At the end of the day, Arizona is an arid place, and our residents are going to have to pay for long-term solutions to maintain our quality of life.
Yeah.
And whether that's increasing dams, they're looking at the height of dams on the Salt River. There's talk of desalination to supplement our needs from the Sea of Cortez.
Yep.
I think over time, all those things are going to be viable.
Yeah.
And they're expensive. We're going to have to spend money to create long-term solutions. So right now, we're working closely with the governor's staff, trying to figure out what can we do for near-term solutions and long-term solutions. And so when you look at it, our personal situation at Teravalis, we've got 15, 20 plus years of water for forever. And we need a good long-term solution for the balance.
Yeah. And absolutely. So thanks for that. I know enough of the water to be dangerous, but just to make it clear, for our
you hang out with that guy, Greg Vogel, that joke that Greg got water Tourette's. So all you have to say is, do we have water? And you're good for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah, it's complicated. My favorite quote from the water business in Arizona is, "Whiskey's for drinking, water's for fighting." And
that's true.
And that's what we do always.
Yeah. Let's talk about infrastructure, just briefly touching on it. Obviously, we're going to be in this community for a long time. But what are the thoughts on financing infrastructure? What are some of the vehicles you're using? And then how do we plan for stuff that may not exist yet? Some new stuff is going through the legislature that, may get through. But how do we look at, we're building a city the size of San Francisco.
Yeah. Well, most people don't understand exactly how this works, but we're building a city the size of San Francisco.
Yeah.
and the city we're in is a rapidly growing, financially strapped, right? When you're in a rapidly growing city, you're always short of funds.
Yeah.
And so they're growing and they're doing a great job managing what they can manage and do. Roads, regional things, sewer, water, all those things.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job on that. But when a master plan community comes in, we typically build everything the city needs to their standards. and then dedicate it to them, and they operate it. They, then they send the water bills and pay for ongoing maintenance and all that for sewer and water, and same thing with roads. I'm not going to talk about infrastructure financing. I'm with Yoda of infrastructure financing here, Carter. But we're currently using CFDs, as you know. Community facilities districts allow us to fund, finance the major infrastructure. So, like Florio, there was no sewer, there was no water, there's no capacity for roads, there's nothing. So when we come in as the developer, our job is to say, okay, we got to build roads, got to build sewer, got to build water, got to bring all the dry utility infrastructure in, telephone, gas, all the things that a community needs to operate. How are we going to do that, and how can we pay for that? And essentially, we pay for it. We finance it with community bonds. And then when people buy homes, their property tax includes a rational share of that financing cost. It's a very sophisticated market-based approach. If I'm buying a home in this community or that community or that community, I compare my tax bill. If the buyers don't get it, the people representing them, the realtors do. So they compare, and you have to be competitive. So we spend a lot of time thinking about that financing. As I've learned from you, primarily, Arizona's lagging in creativity on some of these municipal districts. In Texas, they call them MUDs, municipal utility districts. They get it in Texas. They've got a different approach. And the biggest difference is when we do CFDs, there's a real lag in the ability to get reimbursed because it's tied to valuation of properties, and it's just a horrible lag. So it's inefficient financing, if you will. And in Texas, Utah, Colorado, other states have come up with new systems that really help offset that lag, so that financing of infrastructure is real time. It makes sense economically. And so there's a bill, I can't remember the name of the bill, but there's one going through the process at the legislature in Arizona right now. We're supportive, we're optimistic, and most cities and others get it and are like, we need those tools. So that'll be you're helping lead that charge, and it'll be a big deal here.
Obviously it's a great way to have growth pay for growth. Buckeye's been a great partner over the years. They get it. They understand it. We need these financing tools. If we're building a city, we have to be able to finance it as if we're a city, even though we're private developers. And so they've been great partners.
Let's stay on finance for just a second. The current crisis in Arizona, and maybe in the country, is people don't take education seriously. There's this polarized thing going on with a whole bunch of misinformation on the right about, people teaching critical race theory and all these things that got started on social media and are all rumors. And people are voting down education bond issues. The West Valley, the majority of the bonds that were put forward just to operate schools failed miserably. Well, the West Valley is growing. It's exploding. We're going to need schools. And public schools, we're in a little district in Teravalis called Saddle Mountain Unified School District. It's led by an amazing superintendent that's the real deal. He's a public school educator. His whole career has been focused on doing great work as an educator. We floated 2 bonds in that district this last fall, one to build new schools because they're growing, they need schools, and one to operate. I get going on this.
Did they pass, Charlie?
They bombed miserably. They lost by 10 points. So our current crisis on finance is we've got to get people to understand that Arizona, if we're going to be an employer of choice state, and the West Valley is going to be the employment of choice location or whatnot, we've got to really focus on building schools. We've got to support our districts, and we've got to get out there and do a better job. Westmac, which is a very large district, covers all of the West Valley. They're doing this amazing job preparing people for jobs,
Right.
workforce development, right? And they do highly technical training. They've built a clean room to train people so that they can go right to work at TSMC, for example.
Yeah.
All the cutting edge stuff, all the way down to plumbing and carpentry and good basic crafts and skills. So they passed a very large multi-year bond in the fall, and they did a lot of hard work to do that. They got out and really educated their stakeholders, and they got support, and that's what's going to happen. The West Valley is going to have to take it up a notch, but people are going to have to. Schools aren't political, right?
Yeah.
Schools are where we educate our youth. And if you talk about workforce development, that starts in kindergarten and goes through high school. And whether it's training to get to college for a very advanced degree, software programming, or whether that's going on to Westmac and getting a great trade, we've got to educate our youth. That's American part of the American dream.
Well, and that's because we get a lot of the cities looking, you have all these CFDs, these added taxes. Are they going to vote down, the GO bond election for the city, for the school district? And last time I looked at it, albeit it's probably 10 or 15 years ago, I probably did it for you at Verado. We saw that all the master plans where the CFDs were, they were passing bond elections because the young families were moving there and they cared about their children. Yeah. So I'll have to look into that. Thanks for bringing that up, Charlie. But huge point.
Yeah, we need your help on that, and Arizona needs to figure out how to fund schools. Texas, they float education bonds all the time, and they're building new schools because they're a pro-growth. Let's get it going. Get it going. Yeah.
Hey, how long have we been going? Oh wow, we've been going for a long time. This has been fun.
You and I could talk forever. We're gonna have to reschedule and do another session.
Yeah, well, I'll probably take you up on that. Is there anything you're doing at Teravalis that may be a little different, than kind of the typical master plan? I haven't had a chance to ask you this question, and I'm just curious, and maybe the answer is no. We're just really forward thinking, trying to create a lot of flexibility for, be able to move things around. But as it relates to amenities, to branding, to building community, lessons you've learned, things that have worked, that may go against the typical MPC planning ethos. Anything out of the ordinary?
Well, that's a great question. In these first phases, I would describe it as it's pretty traditional, with the two big focuses. One is we're trying to have a great segmentation of builders. So we've got 7 great national and regional builders right now. Working on number 8. We'll have an announcement for us.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And so having a good variety of high quality products at a broad spectrum of pricing. So we start just over 300,000. We go up into the 700,000-800,000 range. That's not always done early in a master plan. You're starting a little bit narrower spectrum, and you're trying to keep volume going and all that. So we're really focused on that. And my personal push is segmentation. We got to push it down in size and price, maintain good quality, and we got to be ready to go up because we're in a location where it's just beautiful, and people are going to want to have bigger, semi-custom choices and all that relatively soon. We get into some topography in our upcoming phases. So that's one big push, is making sure we've got a big variety. The second one is we went big on amenity, and we're late. You'll remember we had a lake in the community that was grandfathered, and my first day I just said, I'm sorry, but the lake's going to have to go. They're frowned upon by anybody that understands water and water conservation. They evaporate gobs of water. 15 million gallons a year for this lake we had. And I said, that's a precious resource. We can't do that. We're going to be a conservation-oriented community. We got to get rid of the lake. So we put a big underground tank in. We're going to store our effluent to water our landscaping underground. 0 evaporation and all those good things. But what it did is we had integrated our amenity around that lake edge. And so when you take a lake out, you have to fill it.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, we lowered the site a little bit because as we filled, we took dirt from around it, filled it in. So we really delayed our amenity, which it was a necessary evil. We're going to make up for it in just an amazing amenity, right? So we're going to have a 22,000 square foot amenity building, which I think if I took everything built in a couple of the communities that I've done, it wouldn't match that.
Yeah.
And so, for example, because it's a location that needs good stuff, so we've got a great, we're gonna have you're gonna feel like you're a member at one of the local great chains, right? We've got a great in there, meeting rooms. We've got. I don't know how to describe the water amenity, but we've got an adult pool. We've got so you can go swim and do water yoga and all the things you like to do in a good, serious swimming pool. We've got a resort pool where you get to just hang out and do the hang at the pool day.
Yeah.
And we've got an amazing kid zone.
Yeah.
And so the one thing we've done that people haven't been doing for quite a while is we went sort of over the top on a destination amenity package that will be, it'll be consumed and it's going to be amazing.
Hey, Charley, can I get pictures of that to put in the show notes of your amenities? Yeah,
absolutely.
Just for our listeners, I want to take a look at it. Sorry, Charley, I didn't mean to interrupt.
We've got great renderings because we just updated them for the welcome house, and so that will be there. That's great. Future phases. We're going to have lots of creativity.
Yeah,
we're planning as we speak. It'll be an amazing community over time.
Yeah.
And, right now, we're just happy we got people moving in. They're excited to be there. My thing I always say is our business is a business of firsts.
Yeah.
And so first groundbreaking, first neighborhood, first park, first house for people, first school, first, literally first event. And so it's really an exciting time at the front end because these new residents are eager to be part of something new and cool. And so we're deep in that experience right now.
Great. Charley, you've been so kind with your time. I really appreciate you taking the time today to talk to our listeners. Is there anything you'd like to leave our listeners with? Any questions I should have asked but didn't? Any parting comments?
Well, I leave you with a couple of thoughts. Arizona has water.
Mm-hmm.
It's precious, and we need to manage it very carefully. But don't believe the rumors that we're out of water. We're open and selling homes, and everyone should come buy one. Right? Carter,
I'll be out there immediately. Yes,
you should buy a home right away.
Yep.
Get excited! It's beautiful out here, and we should be happy to see you and come out and tell you about our community. Arizona continues to be an amazing place.
Mm-hmm.
And so whether it's employment, housing, education, you kind of have to pinch yourself because it's all here. It's all readily available to everybody at every level. It's the highest quality in the country. So we're thrilled to be here developing Teravalis. We've got a great start, and we've got a long runway. So we're going to be doing some more podcasts, and I really appreciate you having me here this morning. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, Charley. We'll have you back, and for our listeners, I'm going to put Charley's contact information in the show notes, along with references to the various websites, and we'll have some real cool renderings on Teravalis and Floreo, so that all of our listeners can take a look at it. And if you've enjoyed our podcast, really encourage you to pass it on to your team members. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And Charley, I just want to say thank you again for taking the time today. This was really cool. Thank you.
Thanks. It was really fun. I appreciate it.
You have been listening to the Land to Lots podcast with Carter Froelich. Follow us wherever you find your podcast to never miss a new episode.